a day, a minute, one player to sabotage and ruin it. It doesn't take much to kill a culture. And so we work really, really hard at just kind of teaching humility and putting our guys in situations where they've got to be leaders, where they've got to be servant leaders, where they've got to be guys that appreciate other people. It's a privilege to play basketball at the college level, and especially at a place like Hope. So we want our guys to respect that. And I think the best way you can do that, again, is, making your mom, your grandma proud of who you are. Don't get obsessed with, scoring points, or that it's all about you and your playing time. It's about you representing your family, your school, your God, whatever your thing is, doing things the right way, because, hey, the ball is going to stop bouncing at some point, whether year 1 or year 4, or when a guy graduates at 22, 23, 24. What kind of man, husband, father are these guys going to be? We want to win championships, and it's a big 4 years. But if I'm not doing my job, it's going to show in the next 40 years after college. So that character piece we're talking about is really going to help these guys become the kind of men they can become after college, which to me is the true test of a college coach.
Wow, that's definitely that's amazing. Now I'm going to throw something else out there for you. I know we talked about character, but Hope is big on the academics, right? Now, could you talk a little bit about, I don't think a lot of our student athletes understand that academics, it's it's just as important as it's really more important than sometimes even your performance, right? Talk a little bit about the academics expectations at Hope College and just in general.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So for us, it is a high academic school. And right now, like the last 2 years, we've had to turn students away because the supply and demand isn't favorable to students who want to come to Hope. Like, we're full. So that even ratchets up the GPA even higher. So on average, like, it's really hard for me to get a student who is below like a 3.1, a high school grade point average of 3.1, to even get admitted to Hope. If he has a high test score, maybe we can do that. But if he's like at a 3.0 or 2.9 with a lower test score, it would take a huge push for us just to get them admitted out of the high school level. If they go to a junior college and prove they can do college level work, then sometimes that scale can go down a little bit, just because there's, and on average, I think a couple of years ago, I was told the average ACT score at Hope is like a 27, 28. Now, that doesn't mean all of our guys are at that level, but campus wide. So it does become a little bit harder for our admissions office to accept a student athlete that is way below the campus average. So it's a sliding scale, but it is extremely important. And it's a tough school. So, our students have to prove they can do college level work. So obviously the better they do at the high school level, the more they show that hunger for A's and B's instead of C's and D's, or just passing, gives them a better chance at Hope. And there are some schools in our league where their standards are not as high, but ours are very high. Kalamazoo College is another school in our league that's even higher from an academic standpoint. And now, Coach, the benefit to that, you get into a school like Hope or Kalamazoo or Calvin, your degree is worth so much at the end. There are business and corporations and schools, and just the job industry has great respect for that small college D3 degree, because they know what our kids went through. They know the grind that they went through academically. And so, again, that diploma, that degree is worth gold when you get out. And that's what we want. We want our guys to be employed and to be highly successful once they leave Hope.
Wow, and that's so it's like the Ivy League of the conference,
A
right?
little. I'd love to say that. That'd be a little lofty statement, but it's in that realm. And I think just D3 life is kind of like that. There's a reason we don't have athletic scholarships. That's a bummer, obviously, but it's because these kids go to school to be students first. And then, basketball, any sport, is right there as a level of importance, but the academic piece is a priority for sure.
Perfect. I'm glad that you touched on that. So now, let's talk about this. Let's talk about, hey, I'm a high school kid. I have good grades. My parents are more focused on the academic part, but I still have the love and passion when I play a high level basketball with an opportunity to still play professional. So I'm
Yeah.
interested in Hope College. Um, so could you talk to me about the next steps? How can I stand out? How can I get recruited? Um, um, you know, what's the next steps if I meet those basic criteria?
Yeah, there are a lot of different ways guys can approach it. I mean, some of these guys go to elite camps. We all host an elite camp in the summer, for example, and that's a way to get right in front of that particular school's coaching staff. I get emails every single day that kids are sending out highlight films, their statistical background, game tape. That's a great way to get in touch. Now, mind you, every college coach's inbox is very, very full. Okay, so you got to make sure it's written in a professional way. Um, it's not just like a cut and paste. Hey coach. It should probably say, hey, dear Coach Mitchell, and make sure it's professional. It's edited. You might even want to have your high school coach uh, draft a paragraph or two to support this athlete, because that would be different. All of a sudden we're hearing from a high school coach as well as the player. Any way to make it look really organized, professional, um, classy, it's going to grab our attention. Because you get so many, you delete the ones that have errors, that aren't correctly punctuated, that don't like show that respect that a good letter would show. Um, and in other ways, I think is is contacting a school and just setting up a visit. We get visits often just through our admissions office, and the admissions office will reach out to me and say, hey, there's a kid from Grand Rapids Catholic Central that wants to come visit Hope, and he has an interest in basketball. Will you sit down and meet with him? And sure, we'll do that, and we'll do some research on the individual and see how good he is, and if there's film out there, we'll watch it. And so if kids are willing to go out and actually do an unofficial visit in the spring and fall, is a great time for a high school kid to go to these schools and then play at an open gym at the end of the day. And as a D3 coach, we're not permitted to watch open gyms on our campus, but my players will inform me and say, hey, Johnny from Kalamazoo came to open gym, and coach, he's really, really good, and so I'll get information that way from my own players. And I think the high school kids, it really gives them the opportunity to see what that level is like. Because some of them are thinking, it's a D3 school, and they'll go to an open gym and they'll just get their butt kicked, and they'll realize, whoa, this is a big level. And or hey, I fit right in. These guys are awesome. I want to continue to look at Hope or Albion or Calvin or wherever. So kind of advertising yourself is really, really important. The other thing that kids often do is they'll go to these showcases, a prep hoops showcase or whatever it might be. And those are fine. Just like AU, it's all good opportunities for kids. Sometimes it's hard to stick out. And I guess I'll go back to the showcases. Those can get really expensive for kids. And I don't think that's necessarily the only way for a kid to get noticed, I guess. We're going to AAU tournaments, and certainly we see those evaluations, and we see kids play. But I also think that these guys can work on advertising themselves a little bit, and just, I have a lot of respect for an individual who reaches out to me and presents himself the right way, gets the support of his high school coach or his AU coach or whoever it might be, his junior college coach. And sometimes all it takes is, hey, we have to open the email, read the email, and look at the clips. And if there's something that we appreciate from a skill standpoint, we're going to follow up. And then if he has the grades, like for our level, boom. And then I'll probably call coach. What kind of a kid is he? And I'll lean into you. And is he a kid that is a high character guy that's going to add to our program, or is he going to be a pain in the butt? And if he's a pain in the butt, then we move on to the next one, because there are more kids out there.
Perfect. So here's what I'm going to do, Coach. I'm going to get a list of the people that participated today. I'm going to start sending you, people that I think that's qualified as far as academics and, good character kids. And I'm going to start opening up that kind of like recruiting pipeline for you.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
also going to start. I'm gonna share your email, so parents and individuals can reach out. Um, not only from me, from like you said, start putting your best foot forward and
Yeah.
communicating, showing that you are a leader. So I'm going to give you a list of those individuals, and I'm also going to share your contact information. So if anybody want to reach out, they
Yeah.
could
That's
be able to
awesome.
reach out to you. Okay.
Well, yeah, and I would just, props to you for number one, reaching out to me and giving these guys just a voice. There are all kinds of opportunities out there, but oftentimes these kids need a leader, they need a mentor. And here you are blazing a trail for these guys. So for all you guys that are listening, I'll lean into coach and he's been there. He's supporting you. He's kind of a means to an end, and we all need mentors in our life that can help us out. So just yeah, I appreciate the chance to talk about hope, and I wish all these guys great luck, and take advantage of the opportunity every day, because the investment is worth it. There's nothing like playing college basketball, that's for sure.
Thank you very much, Coach. I appreciate your time. I appreciate everybody for joining, and we'll stay in touch, Coach. Okay.
Sounds good. Take care, guys. We'll
All
see
right.
you.
Thank you.